Welcome back, students. In this session, we are going to study about the challenges in conservation of biodiversity. The first challenge is population pressure. The growing human population increase demand for land, food, water, and other resources. As a result, more forests are cleared, wetlands are drained, and natural resources are converted to cities, farms, roads, and industries. This puts huge pressure on ecosystem and leads to the loss of species and habitats. Next, that is habitat loss and fragmentation. Habitat loss happens when forests, wetlands, or grassland are destroyed. Fragmentation occurs when large habitats are broken into smaller isolated patches. Species that need large continuous habitats struggle to survive, leading to population decline and even extinction. The next is overexploitation of resources. Overexploitation means using that particular resource in the tremendous amount in the very high level. So overfishing, overhunting, and excessive logging and overharvesting of plant deplete population faster than they can recover. Famous example we can take that extinction of passenger pigeon, drastic decline in whale population. It is because of overfishing and overexploitation of natural resources. Unsustainable use of resources threatens the biodiversity severely. Along with that, the most important problem of this today's time is pollution. Chemical pollutants like pesticide, plastic, and heavy metals and soil and oil spills damage the ecosystem. Air pollution can change the climate and acidify the water bodies. For example, acid rain. Water pollution harms aquatic life. For example, dead zones in ocean caused by fertilizer runoff. This kind of pollution, it is very harmful for the ecosystem and harmful to the survival of the organism in that particular area or habitat. Next is invasive species. Non-native species introduced intentionally or accidentally often outcompete the native species for resource. Example, water hyacinth in lake, zebra mussel in river, or lantana plants in forest. They disrupt the ecosystem, leading to the loss of native biodiversity. For example, some species is native to our India or in this particular area. So when the invasive or the foreign species which is not native to this place, when comes into that particular our area, then it compete with the native species for different resources, for food, for what we call as shelter, and this will ultimately outcompete the native species for the resources and ultimately leads to the loss of native biodiversity. Next is lack of funding and resources. Conservation projects require money, trained manpower, and technology. Many conservation programs fail or remain incomplete because of insufficient final and institutional support. Developing countries where much biodiversity exists often suffer the most due to the lack of funding. So lack of funding and resources is a major challenge in the terms of conservation of biodiversity. Next, that some sort of conflict of interest. Sometimes different group, for example, industries, local communities, governments, have conflict of interest. For example, farmers may want more land for agriculture, but conservationists want to protect the forest. Balancing human development and conservation is a very big challenge. In recent example, I would like to give about the Hyderabad. So the 400 acres of the area of the forest that they are going to destroy. So this is kind of conflict of interest. So conservationists want to protect the forest, but the government wants to make uh, some sort of high what we call as industrial area in that particular place. So this is a kind of conflict of interest. Next, policy gaps and work enforcement. Some countries have weak environmental laws or gaps in policies that fail to protect certain species or habitats. Even if strong laws exist, Poor enforcement due to corruption, lack of staff, or political pressure reduces their effectiveness. Limited public awareness and engagement. Many people are unaware of the importance of biodiversity and the need to conserve it. Without public support, conservation efforts struggle to succeed. Education, outreach programs, and citizen participation are crucial for effective biodiversity conservation. Next, genetic erosion. Loss of genetic diversity occurs when populations shrink or become isolated. Small isolated populations are prone to inbreeding, lower adaptability, and higher risk of extinction. Conservation Conserving genetic diversity is critical for species to adapt for changing environment like climate change. So